What up, folks? What it do? Welcome to another episode of the Best Advice Ever podcast. Yeah, with your boy, Mike Goodwin, the bow-tied comedian. Well, I'm going to jump right into it because, as you know, this podcast is called the Best Advice Ever podcast. And I'm certain that I've done some form of this advice before, but it's so pertinent that I felt like, man, I really need to run it back. I need to play it again. We need to go to the instant replay. We need to, hey, man, challenge the call. Before we move forward, we need to run this advice back. I was just recently, man, I love I find it interesting that people often ask me, like, what do I do for fun? Like, what I do to relax. And I think those are two different things. They can be the same, but oftentimes they're two different things. To relax, I go to sleep. Yeah, man, I just lay down and go to bed, right? Or I may enjoy quiet time. I like peace and quiet, a walk in the nature, right? Going to the gym. That's what I do to relax. Um, but what do I do for fun? That's different. Fun is I would go to a game. I would go to a basketball game. I would attend a sporting event. That's fun to me. Fun is maybe like a night out with some friends, going to a movie. That's fun. And because I do stand up for a living, my job is fun. Like, I truly enjoy telling jokes. Like, maybe if I was playing like in the NBA, that it would be similar, because again, doing something that you love to do is fun, but then when you have to do it at a high level, or you have to do it in a like a time frame or restraints, hey, you have a game tonight at 8 o'clock. That may be different to me, like just getting up and going to the gym first thing in the morning. So the level of fun definitely changes. I may have more fun with an audience in a particular part of the country than I would in another particular part of the country. I may have more fun in a club than I would at a corporate event, but I don't know. And I don't know until it's actually going down. So fun and relaxing are kind of two different things to me. But what I do enjoy is watching shows. Enjoy watching shows, especially shows that have unique points of views with great writing. Like some of the shows I'm watching now, I'm like, oh man, this is really good television. Like, I think Insecure is a show that's just a really good television in terms of the character development. I like the music. I like the scenarios. It's very realistic. It's very difficult for me to watch something and not become a critic or be more of a judge than just somebody who's observing the art. Because if I'm able to just chill and relax and watch, then I'm having a good time. But oftentimes something signals my brain, and I'm no longer just passively enjoying the art anymore. The same is true if I'm at a sermon or I'm at a dinner. Like, if I'm at an event where somebody's going to speak, I'm really maybe tuned in a little bit more than most folks. I'm probably locked in, listening to the jokes, like, okay, where are they going with this joke? How are they going to tie this in? Man, that was an empty story that they told. It didn't really have a place. They're just talking. They're yammering, right? I'm very critical, and it's hard for me to turn that off. People often tell me, like, hey man, I don't want to see this stuff on stage. And they're not, because stuff don't be funny. Something happened this weekend. This is a clear example of Mike Goodwin. This is just unapologetically, and I don't mean to be me, but I'm just me. And sometimes I got to let the chips fall where they may. But here's a great snapshot of who and how I think. So I'm on the road with John Chris and Caleb Elliott, who's another comedian we travel with, doing 4 shows, right? And then I'll probably, because of the way I do this podcast, I'll probably talk about those cities in another podcast. But this story I felt was pretty relevant to what I was talking about. And John had out, his folks, that his manager, then there's another person that helps with the production of the show. Well, he had a videographer out with them. And this is the last night. So we've been Shreveport, Louisiana. We've been to Oklahoma City, and we were Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And so you're in the back, about in the green room, about to go to the stage. And the videographer is like, oh, he walks in and basically like, hey, man, that's a good crowd out there. Now, I hate when people tell me some group of people is going to be a good crowd, because what happens when people tell me that, I don't know what other comedians do, but when somebody's like, oh yeah, man, they're gonna love you, or it's gonna be a good crowd, you're gonna have a great time, I let down my guard a little bit. So I go in, kind of go, bebopping into the beep, beep, beep. Hey guys, how's it going? Like, no, man, that's not how you engage a situation, man. You go in, eyes wide open. You got on your war paint. You got on your camouflage. You got your targets. You got your clip is fully low. Like you're about to engage in a very serious endeavor, or maybe a bit grotesque and more gory. But it definitely, and again, if you've known me for a while, I talk about comedy like it's boxing. So if somebody was like, oh man, it's an easy knockout out there. You go in there, you guard down, and you playing around, dancing, and then you get hit in the mouth, and you're like, oh, this is a more formidable opponent. Like, every opponent should be respected, and not that the audience is my opponent, but the audience is my opponent. So when he said, hey man, it's gonna be a good crowd out there, I was like, man, how you know? What empirical evidence, what data do you have that would surmise that particular audience? Have you gone out there and told some jokes and they laughed at your jokes? Like, and I just immediately go on the defense. Like, how you know, man? And then so we had a good time cracking jokes on that. Like, oh, you already opened up, huh? No, this is the expert. He could tell by how they were standing in line. Yeah. And then some of y'all might be like, come on, man, it's too much. And it is a little too much, but also say something like, oh man, they're really excited tonight. And I think it's gonna be a good night. But that's a good crowd right there. How do you know this? Have you shared your comedy stylings and they've approved? Like, so again, it's one of those things. I'm a very literal. Like, I have to give myself some margin, some leeway. But I'm very, if I asked you to do something, that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to have an interpretation. If you tell me that's a good crowd, I want to believe that. I want to know. I want to trust that you know what you're talking about. But I've learned in life, a lot of people don't know what they talk about. But they were a good crowd. My man was right. But they were a good crowd. So in all of that, let's share the best advice ever today is simply keep your eye on the ball. And again, as I was saying, I was watching a show. It's on Apple TV. Friends and Neighbors, I think is the name of it. And there was a scene where John Hamm is the lead, and he's having problems. He's been divorced. He's been fired. His life is not going well, and there's a scene where he's talking with his wife, and he's basically, I want to apologize because I took my eye off of the ball. I didn't keep my eye on the ball. And basically, keeping your eye on the ball means, to me, keep the main thing the main thing. It's so easy, man, in this life, in whatever field, professional field that you work in, to get distracted. What are the things that could cause you to keep your eye off of the ball? I'm glad you asked. A few of them: distraction. I do a keynote where I talk about distractions, and I say nowadays we walk into places with our distraction in our hands. Man, me and this is the biggest fight in my life right now. Like, hey, Mike, did you read the book that you intended on reading? Nah, why? I was too busy reading the things on here, looking at the things on here, distracted by this device that I charge every night. I went and purchased. I use it to navigate through life. Like, if I didn't have my phone, how do I board a flight? How do I get a Uber? Like, if I didn't have my phone, how would I know where my show is this weekend? I just, my computer could help me, but my phone gets it pretty quickly, right? So distractions. Mental fatigue is something that would cause you to lose focus and concentration. Fear of success or failure. I often talk about the burden of success because people are always talking about failure. We're always talking about being afraid of failing, but what about being afraid of succeeding? And if you did it, man, people are going to expect you to do it again. Holy smokes. And if they're going to expect me to do it again, then I'm going to have this type of clothing, and I'm going to have to drive this particular kind of car. And you start thinking about things that don't even tie into what you should be actually be thinking about. Another thing that could cause you to take your eye off the ball is unnecessary worry. Nothing wrong with worry. You can worry. Y'all heard my bit. There's only two things we're gonna worry. You should only worry about two things in life, right? Self-interest. Not looking out for the team, being self-absorbed, overconfidence. Took your eye off the ball. That goes back to the that's a good crowd out there. You hear that's a good crowd out there, you get a little, your chest poke up a little bit. Oh, okay. I can take it a little, I'm a little overconfident. I take it a little easy. Nah. That's what you should lock in. And then last but not least, what causes you to take your eye off the ball is pain. You got some type of pain. If your arm hurts and you can't, hey man, if I'm hurting in an area, but my focus is over here, like, you got to take care of that pain. You got to take care of that pain. You can't ignore things that are problems. I mean, and I'll be 50 this year, the 50. I feel great. I look good for my age. I'm doing things. I ran this morning, at least, I don't know, maybe 2 miles, maybe 2.5 miles this morning in under 20 minutes. When I was a younger man, I could run 2 miles in 12 minutes, right? Now it's double the time, but I did it. And I feel good now. I'm not in pain. And one of the reasons I haven't been running for a little while is because I had some pain in my foot, right? So if you're going to be able to focus and be concentrated, to keep your eye on the ball, to keep the main thing, you got to alleviate the pain. It's hard to focus on what you're supposed to be doing when you're hungry. I heard my grandfather, someone say that a man should not be tired and hungry. It shouldn't happen. There's nowhere in the world you should be tired and hungry, because if you're tired, that means you're working, you have some money. And if you're hungry, that means you don't have money to buy food. So it can't be tired and hungry. So take care of the pain to eliminate slowing you down from your goals and your aspirations. And the best advice ever is just simply keep your eye on the ball until it's secure, until you got it secured. Because sometimes you catch it and then you make a move before you really have it and you lose it, right? Keep your eye, like when I was learning how to catch, they said follow it all the way in, catch it all the way in. Like don't get your eyes off of it before you secure it, right? So that's the best advice ever. Now, I want to share some information from just my life of travel. I've been on that road because I'm a comedian. Comedians make a living going on the road. And that's what happens sometimes with some comedians. You get tired of that road. That road beat you down. That road take your energy. Man, you don't want to pack those bags. You don't want to get on those flights. You don't want to drive the drive. Guess what? I'm not there yet. Hey, the road, me and the road are like old buddies. I look forward to seeing you this week. I look forward to kicking it with you. So I enjoy the road, but I can see. I mean, there's moments. I remember like leading up to COVID, I was kind of having my feel with all of it, comedy, all of it. Then COVID snatched it away. It took it away. No more travel. No more Ubers. Oh, how does that make you feel there? Big dog, how that make you feel there, huh? Huh, George? This dude I mean, listening to. Yeah, George. I don't know who George is. Maybe that's him. So having a healthy respect. Again, man, like I said in the best advice ever, like respect your opponent, man. And I'm talking to me. I'm talking like y'all just listen to the conversation I'm having with me because I can fall into the era, and similar like I was talking about the week before with Coach Saban, having relief syndrome. I can overlook an opponent. Trap games, they jump up and bite me all the time because I'm looking at the next thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm gonna knock this out, no problem. No, it's gonna knock me out, right? So I was on that road, man. So on that road most recently was in West Virginia. West Virginia is a very interesting place, very interesting state. I think I should try to do like an analysis of each and every state. I love when people on social media. I saw this girl, she was putting states. I don't know if she was, I can't remember exactly what she was doing because she wasn't very favorable to South Carolina, but it was a good, it still was her exercise was a good exercise in creativity. I think she was maybe given the tiers of states, like who would be the aunts and the mother, like of states, who was the matriarch, like if Chicago was the mama, then Indianapolis would be the nephew, would be the daughter. Charlotte would be the other daughter. It was that type of deal. Who would be, New York would be dad, and then New York's brothers or Chicago, LA, and Nashville, that type of deal. So I like that about when people take states and make it modern in terms of an analogy. They try to make an analogy out of it. But West Virginia, very interesting mountain, very like the landscape of West Virginia. They're known for um, the woods and mountains, the Appalachian, right? Well, I was in Charleston, which I believe is the capital of West Virginia, for an event, and it was quite interesting to me because something happened that well, I did something. So I was doing this show for these pastors, Southern Baptist pastors, and I have a bit in my set about the Waffle House, right? I got this Waffle House joke that I've been doing. And a part of the joke, basically, and this joke has got me in trouble. This joke has got me in trouble. I did a show in Knoxville, Tennessee for this nonprofit. This was one of the ones fresh off of America's Got Talent, man. When you come off of America's Got Talent, regardless of whether you win, lose, or draw, if you showing up on television and Simon and Hugh and Huey, Howie and not Sophia. Man, I be bugging sometimes. It's been a few years, so I wasn't really watching America's Got Talent before I got on it. But when people see you on NBC, they see you on and you engaging with the judges, right? They want to you get moved up in the line a little bit. You get moved up. You get it's like when you're boarding the plane. You might be in Comfort Plus. Like I was back there in general seating. I was back there with like the royal blue board situation, zone 4 and 5, right? You get on America's Got Talent, man. You in zone 3, and depending on how far you go, you could be zone 1, platinum 360, diamond. So I definitely was not sky priority before I got on America's Got Talent. I got on that America's Got Talent, man, and I was first class Comfort Plus sometimes. It just when it first pops, you might be a little first class. You might get some first class. Like I got upgraded this weekend. Was not anticipating it. A little Atlanta to Columbia, 2D. I got bumped up. So that's how it was with America's Got Talent, man. I got bumped up. Started getting some first class flights, some Comfort Plus, and I got this opportunity to go to Knoxville and do this fundraiser. This is their gala, big night, and I was only doing 10 minutes of comedy, 15 minutes of comedy. That's the other thing that I'll share, y'all. I just be sharing random things. I hope y'all find this helpful. I know people that listen to the podcast. I hope this stuff is as interesting as it is to me because it's very interesting. But one of the things I got booked for this event, and you're talking 10, 15 minutes. 10, 15 minutes on this program. There's a program. You got the mayor of the city, might have been even the governor of the state might have been in there. I mean, it was some dignitaries, some sponsors, some gold, platinum sponsors, right? And they got a choir, a little children's choir. They got different folks in the city. And the actual event was the fundraising for the sports program that's in the city of Knoxville. They go in the inner cities and they build up gyms and they give kids outlets to be involved in sports teams and learn leadership and even teach them the word. I think there's a faith component connected. So they brought, man, they saw my stuff. We're gonna book my Goodwin. I'm talking about money. Maybe not Hollywood money, but for me, you talking a nice payday, a pretty impressive payday. And let's say the impressive payday, and you're doing 20 minutes. That's why what got me into this little rant. Folks will try to say, "Hey, man, we just want you to do 20 minutes." Well, I've done 20 minutes for a very handsome reward, right? So you trying to bring the money down because you asking for less time. Like that's when you start transition off the chitlin circuit. On the chitlin circuit, they try to put the amount of time that you do commiserate to how much your pay is, and that's the chitlin circuit. So man, you're only doing 10 minutes. Well, yeah, that's on the chitlin circuit. But when you are moving and operating as a company, as an organization, me only doing 10 minutes at your event restricts me from doing an hour somewhere else. So it's not about how much time I'm gonna do. It's about the date. You've taken this date off of my calendar. Now no one else can access this date. So what's this date worth? Not how much time I'm doing. Hey man, could you, we just want to get you for a small. They're like, no. Let the big people get me. And then if you're small and your budget is not as such, just come to a show. I'm going to cities, right? Buy a ticket. Just buy a ticket. But you get yourself into this weird place where people want to have you come and do their event at the prices that, hey man, you just buy a ticket, so you only have to pay whatever many thousands it would be for me to come individually. You just buy a $30 ticket, enjoy the show. But people don't want, they want that access. They want to say, man, we bought Mike Goodwin in and we got him back there. We picked him up at the airport and, he's at our event and, we got him in the back and, he gonna go to dinner with us later. And, I brought my kids by and they got pictures with him, whatever. Like, hey man, come buy a ticket. Because once the budget is not such that it's advantageous for me to say yes to these type of events, it's much easier for me to say, hey man, I will be in this place. I would love for you to bring those same 50 people because there's a lot of seats over here in this other place. Like if you're gonna bring me to your spot and y'all have 100 people, why not bring those 100 people over here and buy these tickets, right? But I only did, like, again, this was a situation where I was only doing, I probably had to look at the notes, but at least 10 to 15 minutes. Wasn't a long time. Man, I be talking. Boy, I be getting my talk on, man. I ain't even halfway through what I wanted to talk about. So, yeah, I did probably 10, 15 minutes. So you got to be very selective about the jokes that you're choosing because you got time restraints. So I can't just be up there having a comedy set like my standard 45 minutes to an hour. So I got to be selective with the jokes. Okay, I'm going to do this joke, then do this joke, do this joke. That'll be 10. Then I'll probably do this other joke, and then I'll do a part of this joke. That give my 15. I'm out of there. Well, at this event, I had the Waffle House joke. I've been doing this Waffle House joke. Good opener. I talk about, I get to these different places, and if they have a Waffle House, it's great. If they don't, it's great because I had a joke for that. I had a joke for if you don't know really what the Waffle House is. Think of a gas station with a restaurant minus the gas station. So that's my waffle. That's my icebreaker. That's one of the ones I use in the beginning, right? Well, in the Waffle House joke, it's two parts to this joke. So it's multiple parts because I used to do it with COVID. So when COVID first started, or when we were coming out of COVID, I would do it like this. I say, man, I'm so good to be back gathering, so people would clap, man, we back having events, man. That's wow. I didn't even really, I thought when I first heard about it, I thought it would last about a week, maybe a month. I didn't know it was going to go this long. I really didn't take it serious, man. And I'm going to tell you when I really realized that COVID was nothing to play with, when they closed the Waffle Houses. And so, boom, big laugh. I said, man, they never closed the Waffle House, man. They had Ebola in the Waffle House. They just keep on making food, right? So the jokes are like, to me, like players. So if you got a quarterback that can also run the Wildcat, like we got Lenore Sellers here in South Carolina. So not only does this joke can go back and throw a pass, man, this joke can run. So I have some different options that this joke can do. This joke is just not going to sit there in the pocket and throw. This joke can get out there on the edges and pick up a first down. So sometimes there's components to jokes that make the jokes faster, stronger, better. Waffle House is like that. It's like a little Lego set. There's pieces that I can put onto this joke. But the standard joke is me saying people go to Waffle House with unrealistic expectation. They come with Cheesecake Factory expectations. So I go through that whole piece about, the lady was in there complaining. Y'all know the joke. Go to my social media. Y'all seen the joke, heard the joke. The second back end part of the joke is where I say, and this is relevant to the Tennessee show and to the West Virginia show. So the second part is because I'm basically like, I don't have any problems with the Waffle House, but I do got an issue with the people that come to the Waffle House, not the organization, right? So then I go through that people part, and then I get to the part I say, there is one. Waffle House should take a look at one thing as an organization. They should I think Waffle House should review their dental plan for their employees, right? So that's boom. That's a and it's a joke that hurts. If you don't have the majority of your teeth, if that you feel, hey man, he talking about me. I don't work at Waffle House, but hey, my teeth gone, right? So in the situation of the corporate event, I should have not done that second half, right? Because this particular event, they were honoring service workers. So there were people that maybe not work for the Waffle House, but they may have folks that didn't have all their teeth in the mouth. And right. And the issue isn't the joke. The issue is how people feel about the joke. I did the joke. Basically, I say, man, it's a lot of gums and tongues. And I say, Waffle House should review their service provider. There's a lot of gums and tongues. Anytime I go to the Waffle House, there's a lot of gums and tongues. Good to me, funny. It's funny. It's a picture, whatever. And then I talk about the speed bag in the back of the throat. Now, what happens with a joke is I say this, I've said it. I write jokes for 100% of the people to laugh. Even people that have lost the majority of their teeth will laugh. They know their teeth are gone. They're not under the illusion that they got a full set of teeth. They like, God, dog, homie, how you got me? You ain't had to do that. So the people that I may be talking about will laugh at the joke because it's a funny joke. The issue is the people that I'm working for, who brought me in or who's hosting this event, they already feel a certain level of guilt anyway. They like, they might feel a way about even doing this event and honoring these folks and not wanting to insult them or take a shot at their dignity. So there's always there's a little bit more sensitivity. And that's often the case in any joke when the people, and again, that not criticism is valid depending on where the criticism is coming from. And if you get it enough, you should be paying attention to it. But sometimes people, especially in this climate, get offended on behalf of other people, and the other people aren't offended. So that's a whole nother conversation. It's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother day. But that's what happened at the Knoxville show. I did the joke, and it was funny joke. But I could tell it kind of it wasn't flat, but it wasn't as electric as it normally is. And as I did, I was like, man, the people were sensitive. They didn't want to enjoy the joke because they were like, some folks in here may not have all their teeth, right? And even to the degree where somebody came up to me at the end was like, my goodness, that was the funniest. That part about no teeth, oh, ha, 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 ha. So funny, right? But then I get an email, or when we get the review of my performance, I think the comment was made that, I made people feel a little uncomfortable with the comments, the joke about no teeth, right? So let's fast forward to recently at West Virginia. I'm doing this event in West Virginia for these pastors. And I got this Waffle House joke. And I'm because I have the memory. I have the memory of Knoxville. I'm thinking in my mind, I could have just held that second piece to myself and moved on. But I'm like, I'm in Knoxville. I'm in West Virginia. I'm doing these pastors. These pastors, they gotta know. They know their reputation because West Virginia has a reputation, people, that may be missing some teeth, right? I didn't make the reputation. That's just what's out here in the streets, right? So should I do this joke, people? Should I do the joke? Should I do the joke and potentially offend the audience and not do well? This is out the gate. This is one of the first jokes too. This is early. This is setting the stage for what may happen for the rest of the night. Am I gonna punk out? I mean, that's what I was kind of asking myself. Am I gonna punk out and not do that part of the joke? Because I'm in West Virginia. I know the reputation. I know the stereotype. With these pastors, it may not be very forgiving audience, right? I do the joke. I do the joke. Because I take my L's, man. But I'm not gonna not be me. And this wasn't a corporate event, just a little different. So I made a decision. I said, I'm doing the joke. I did the joke. When I actually said it and they laughed, I was like, hey, I was a little concerned about that one. I must be honest. I contemplated not doing that. Y'all know. And again, that's the beauty. And it was all good. I just heard somebody, Ali Sadiq, he was in an interview, and he said that D.L. Hughley basically told him, the more honest that you are is the more funnier you're going to be. So however you can get yourself to be more honest, that's how you're going to be more funny. And so shout out for West Virginia. I didn't know Bill Withers. Friends. Oh man, I like that song. Use Me is the name of the song. They tried to tell me, my brother. I think they played Will when I was out with John this week. They were playing a Bill Withers song when I walked. I think we was playing "Use Me," and I didn't even ask for it. I guess I get that Bill Withers ride. But yeah, they had a music Hall of Fame museum in the mall in West Virginia in Charleston. So you know when things aren't going well, if you had a Hall of Fame music museum in the mall, you lost some vendors. Some people. Malls are about capitalism, making this bread. You got a free museum in here with all these artifacts, all these pictures. This mall's not doing well. This mall's on life support. Many malls are on life support. I don't know how we're gonna. Man, malls were a staple of my childhood. Even here in Columbia, the Columbia Mall. You park in the parking lot, you hear that thing beep, beep, beep. While with the college, Greenwood, the mall in Greenwood. Beep, beep. I didn't grow up in a city that had a mall. We didn't have a mall in Camden. We had J.C. Penney's. We had J.C. Penney. No, we didn't have J.C. Penney. We had like another like a local family had a like the Moores or something. I forgot the name of the store, but it's kind of a store now. It's downtown. There was a Belk's. Yeah, so they were just like convenience store, not convenience stores. What's the word? What would be these words? They weren't malls because we didn't have a mall, but we had like merchandise places that were like diet malls. we didn't have a mall. We had Coke Zero Mall. Like it's kind of like mall. It tastes a little bit like mall, but it's not the mall. It's a mall in one. That's what I had growing up. Well, all right, y'all. I'm not gonna belabor the point because I had some more stuff that I want to talk about, but I'm gonna talk about it in the next podcast, and I'll get at you, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hopefully, you are enjoying the Best Advice Ever podcast. I want to grow the podcast. I want to get more folks. I think I like the shot. I do like shot. I think most of the most recent podcasts, they're closer. You got like a more intimate shot. That's the shot I had when we were over on that side. So I'm gonna talk to Jeremy, man. We got to figure out some ways to do some unique things. But I hope the content is engaging. I know I need to be funnier. I know I need to come in with some joke ideas or at least some content. I know when I told that story about my son, I probably need to get that clip on the internet. Can we get that clip, Jeremy, about my son doing his the gambling clip? This is doing live. This is live, but it'll be edited, so it probably might not make the cut. But thank y'all so much for checking in to the Best Advice Ever podcast, man. If you'd like to share, subscribe, like, let folks know about it. Go to my social media. I'm at comedian Mike Goodwin. I'm at MikeGoodwin.com, but I'm Bowtie Comedy on all the platforms. Hit me up. Say, hey, man, I like the podcast. Here's some ideas. Go into my DMs. You can slide in my DMs. My DMs are very dry. I'm a very married family man, so I ain't got a lot going on in my DMs. So you can get right up to the front of the line in the DMs. That's me responding in the DMs. Well, y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And I appreciate that. I'll be back next week. Same bat channel, same bat place. Peace.